Greetings, citizens of the court. It's an honor to present my case of a television series analysis of the 3rd season of Better Call Saul before you all today. Over here in pleadings, we have my client, protagonist Jimmy McGill, aka Slippin' Jimmy, aka Saul Goodman, aka Gene Takovic, an eccentric attorney currently working in elder law who may use shady tactics to achieve his goals, but at the end of the day, does what he sees as right. And on the prosecuting side, we have the season's antagonist, Chuck McGill, aka Charles McGill, Jimmy's older brother and one of the best legal minds at the law firm HHM, who suffers from a nasty case of electromagnetic hypersensitivity. While there is a vast B-plot that follows characters such as Mike Ehrmantraut, Gus Fring, and the actions of the cartel, this season puts a majority of its focus on the A-plot following Jimmy and Chuck. Now, why are these two at odds? Well, it just so happens that Chuck has never forgiven Jimmy for his less than perfect younger years and has secretly done everything in his power to keep Jimmy, who has been caring for him ever since his EHS started acting up, from succeeding in a law career. Now, over here in Discovery, we've got a few questions. Number 1, is there an overarching dramatic question of the series? Yes, Your Honor. Can people change? But I would like the record to state that this change here, it implies that it's for the better. Now, the specific question being asked for this season, what is that? It would have to be, what does vengeance bring? And the answer, what? That would have to be suffering for everyone involved. And the ongoing obstacle problem of the season analyzed is the relationship between Jimmy and his brother Chuck. Right here in Motions, I'll be breaking down the acts of this season with brief visuals I definitely did not doctor for the purpose of this presentation. Act 1 opens up with the same scene that Season 2 left off with, where we learn that Chuck has been secretly recording Jimmy while he confesses to a felony, that he was only doing so in the hopes that it would get Chuck to come out of an isolated stupor. There's a lot that led up to that specific moment. But over the course of episodes 1 and 2, Jimmy is purposefully made aware of the tape's existence and plays directly into Chuck's hand by acting out over this feeling of betrayal. Now, I believe we have footage of this incident. It should have been entered into evidence.
Howard, I know my brother.
Chuck! Chuck! Open the damn door, Chuck! Jimmy! That's enough!
Fantastic. Act 2 follows Chuck pressing charges against his brother with one goal in mind: to get his license to practice law revoked by the bar. Jimmy has to team up with his legal and romantic partner Kim Wexler to establish a solid defense, which takes us all along episodes 3 and 4, leading us to the dramatic midpoint that makes up episode 5. Jimmy pulls some unique tactics that shift the trial from focusing on obstruction of justice to analyzing the mental health of Chuck McGill. And after planting a phone battery on Chuck's person, Chuck, for a lack of better words, loses it. Roll the tape.
And you felt nothing.
No, it's a trick. It has
Enough
to...
is enough. I submit that Mr. McGill's mental illness is a non-issue. If he were schizophrenic, it wouldn't take away from the fact that the
I
defendant...
am not crazy!
Yeah. In Act 2, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, we see Jimmy celebrating his victory over Chuck, but as all dramas go, that positive was actually a false one all along, as now that he's suspended from practicing law for a year, Jimmy is facing some serious money troubles. Over episodes 6 and 7, his resentment grows and he pulls some chicanery, making Chuck's malpractice insurance rates go up dramatically. Act 3 sees Chuck attempting to improve his life now that he's been forced to see his illness as one that is mental, but Jimmy's actions during and after the trial have not only hurt Chuck's reputation, but the reputation of HHM, the firm, as well. Ties become severed and Chuck finds himself, although improving, alone and without friends or a job. Now, Jimmy attempts to come and make amends with his brother after recognizing the damage that he's caused, but,
I don't want to hurt your feelings. But the truth is, you've never mattered all that much to me.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head?
After refusing to make amends with Jimmy, he has a complete psychotic break and sets his house on fire with himself inside. After going through those trials that presented themselves, we can now assess the opening and closing images of the season, those being Gene Takovic, a future Jimmy McGill, opening up a mall Cinnabon, and the closing image is Chuck in his house as flames can be seen through the window, implying that it is going to be burning down. The question left unanswered at the end of the series was, did Chuck just die? And also, how is that going to affect the other characters? For possible appeals, we need to look at the show's co-creators, those being Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould, who, wouldn't you know, both worked on a little show called Breaking Bad, a show that's theme explores a man changing from good to bad under the guise of doing something right in his eyes, which is interestingly contrasted by Better Call Saul's analysis of the opposite, that being seeing if a man is capable of changing from bad to good despite his wrongdoings. Well, that about wraps up my case, Your Honor. So that's all, folks. That's Saul, folks. I'm going to stop now.